and welcome, my beautiful, vibrant souls. Today's reading is really going to be looking at how close are you to a big time breakthrough or turning point. We have three versions of the Judgment card here to choose from. These denote the three piles that you have for your options. And the reason why is because we're really going to be looking at how close are you to a breakthrough, to a revival, to a resurrection of a situation. We've all been in that place where we're like, should I keep going? Am I even close to this happening? What am I missing? And these are kind of the questions we're going to be looking at. This can apply to any situation that you desire. So this could be talking about your spiritual journey in this lifetime at large. This could be talking about a relationship, a big decision in your life, your career, really whatever it is that you desire, kind of guidance and clarity on. As I mentioned, we have three options to choose from. We have option 1 with the traditional Rider-Waite Judgment card. We have option 2 with the extra firm one, which is the Judgment card in the Food Fortunes deck. And then we have option 3, which is the Judgment card from the Cat-Eye Tarot. So take your time, feel free to pause the video and kind of meditate on which one resonates the best with your energy. And when you are ready, head down to the timestamps in the description box and go to your selected option. I will see you there, and by God, be square. Hello and welcome to my beautiful, vibrant souls who were attracted to group 1 with the traditional Judgment card. Look at this bad boy. Look at him. He's so good. Playing his horn, not giving a single care. Love it. Love it. Archangel Gabriel kicking it with us. All right. Now that I've been weird for the day, that's a lie. I'm going to be a lot weirder, but we're starting here. This is where we are. So something I want to mention is that this particular deck, so I actually have 2 standard tarot decks, the classical Rider-Waite decks. Sorry, every time I say Rider-Waite decks, I'm always tempted to be like, Rider-Waite, I hardly know her weight. And it's the worst joke that I've ever committed. But here we are. Anywho, whenever I have 2 versions of this deck, and one is like very high energy and one is a little bit more mellow, and this is more of my high energy one. Excuse my coughing. And so just because of what it is and kind of how it feels to work with it, this to me feels like this could have something to do with your spiritual journey, or but there's also like a material manifestation. And I say this in part because while I was shuffling, the 9 of Cups flipped itself over. And if you've ever gotten a personal reading with me, you might be familiar with my style, which is that while I am shuffling all the cards, I'm also channeling information, and cards that make themselves very, bold, right? They flip themselves over, they fly out of the deck. They what's the word, Sanessa? They're like popping out super far. Or, I just feel super drawn to look at them. I'll take a quick peek, and this serves as like additional information for me. And so the 9 of Cups flipped out with this. They're flipping out. Excuse me. As well as the 9 of Wands. Interestingly enough, for all 3 decks, when I either cut the deck or some cards that flew out, it was always the 9 of Wands. So I think this is a collective energy that we're all kind of like a little bit at a breaking point, or we kind of need to figure out what's going on next. There's a lot of like what looks like mountains/glaciers in the background. So it's been tough. It's been a deep freeze. It's been full of obstacles. Regardless. For this group in particular, with the 9 of Cups flying out, I feel like this is something where this is a desire of yours, but it's also it has a lot of spiritual significance. And this can manifest in any area of life. This could be, like I said, relationships, career, just something that you really desire for yourself. It's going to be different for everybody. Sorry, my allergies are wicked bad. I'm trying to deal with it. So I have my lovely little D10 going on here. And I'm going to roll to figure out a percentage, essentially, for how close you are to this turning point, this breaking point. Yeah, that sounded weird when I said it. So I hope it didn't sound weird when you heard it, but I just made it weird, so let's go with it. And if you're curious about how to use D&D dice for divinatory purposes. I do have a whole video kind of explaining it. I'm probably going to do an updated version not too long from now, but I'll put the link for that in the description box below. So with that, let's figure out how close you guys are. Yeah. Okay. So you guys got 30. So it seems like there's still a ways to go toward this goal, toward this manifestation. And keep in mind, however long you've been at this, like, I think it's really important to note, however long you've been at this, if you're only kind of like, essentially 30% of the way there, that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be an equivalent amount of time. So let's say you've been working on this manifestation for a year, right? If you're only 30% there, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to like be rocking out at 3.5 years until you get there, right? Some things can happen really rapidly. But this is like, the big turning point, the big, awakening, the big, like this is the crescendo. And so we're kind of trying to figure out how close you are to that point. So let me grab your cards. I have pre-shuffled them. My hand is doing better. It is not as broken anymore, but I'm still trying to give it a break. No pun intended. So let's see what you got. You have, oh, I love this card. Sweet. Okay, so this is, interestingly enough, card 30. Aha, so 30 is a significant number here. The number 3 may be important. You might be a life path 3, or that could be your destiny number as well. Excuse me. But you have the frequency of integration supports our embrace of every aspect of ourselves, allowing what we perceive as positive and what we perceive as negative to harmonize in a balanced symphony of life. I love that. Sorry about the glare, by the way. I'm doing my best. How's that looking? Yeah, okay. So whenever I pull this card, my immediate, excuse me, the first thing I always think about is like Akashic integration as well as shadow work. So again, something I feel like is very spiritual. I feel like you guys have been working toward this and you've made some really steady progress. And for you guys, I don't even feel like it's necessarily like a turning point, like that you're working toward, like you're like moving to, ooh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump the mic. You're like moving toward it and then you keep going. I feel like this is like the full culmination, right? So you're making really steady progress. And I also feel like it's not super far away. Like I'm feeling like for this group, the full manifestation, the full fruition of whatever this is that you're trying to accomplish is going to be kind of flourishing within the next like year or so. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, my allergies are just awful. And this is, part of the reason why it's taking the amount of time it takes is because you're doing a lot of really deep work, deep shadow healing, and you're learning to integrate that. And for a lot of you, I feel like you are you're reassessing and reevaluating what it is that is actually in alignment with you, right? So we can go into a manifestation, with our own perception of what it is we think we want, how we think we want it to happen. And it's not saying that that's wrong, but I think there's this fine-tuning. That's a better way of putting it. There's this fine-tuning process that's been taking place where you're really kind of stripping away what isn't real to you. Sorry if you could hear my burp, by the way. I had a teeny little burp. I want to be honest with you guys. But you're like really stripping away what isn't real to you, what isn't true to you. And I feel like, I almost kind of feel like when this happens, this is going to be like you like singing your own song. I don't think this is necessarily like a wake up call for you. I feel like this is going to be you like in your full power is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. And this is because you're getting in touch with who you really are. This also, like I said, could talk about Akashic integration. So you're talking about like your, past lives, other incarnations, and you're really integrating elements from those past lives. So you may be exploring new gifts and talents. This might take you on a completely different path than what you had originally envisioned for yourself. So what I'm really kind of getting is that like, be really open to all of the possibilities. This kind of has this energy of like, I never saw myself doing this, but you know what? I find I like it. and that's good. And I think this is going to really challenge your self-perception, especially with the 3s and the 30, excuse me, showing up twice. I think this is going to really challenge your comfort zone when it comes to self-expression. So let's pull the rest of your cards, because I actually want to look at all of them together. So you guys have leadership. That shit is hot. Okay. Actually, I want to put this right here. Sorry. Do I want to put this here, you guys? No, I don't. I'm a liar. I want to put this here. There we go. Okay. What order do I want to go in here? We have power and healing. So much power. This one says, to get what you love, you first have to be patient with what you have. I love that. There's also a little butterfly here, so that's very, very nice. Transformative energy. You have introspection with fluorite. So working with fluorite might be particularly helpful for you. I love it. This is card 15, by the way, which reduces to a 6 in case that's important for you. And with card 81, we have a 9. So, then we have friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. I'm already liking this energy a lot. We have, this card haunts me. Let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. Oh gosh. All right, we're gonna put this bad boy up here. Is that okay? Yeah, it's a little cramped, but that's fine. Aren't we all? And then for your tarot, you have the Queen of Wands reverse. Okay. We have the World. The World came out a lot when I was shuffling all 3 decks as well. And the 10 of Swords reversed. Okay. We have a lot to talk about. Can you guys see all that? Yeah, it's a little cramped. I apologize about that. Okay. So, there's a lot here. For some of you, you may be trying to manifest Soul Tribe, but for a lot of you, what I feel like is happening is that you are coming into alignment with Soul Tribe, but you're also coming into alignment with your soul purpose. And with the Queen of Wands reversed, I feel like, we have feminine fire energy here, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, that could apply to you, but it does not have to. I feel like for this group, there's a lot here about community and socializing, but it's not just about your friends and being social, if that makes sense. This has very much like 11th house energy. This talks about the kind of spiritual community that you do spiritual work with. And I feel like if you pick this group, you might be kind of reassessing a lot of your friendships, or reassessing your circle, reassessing your community, but also reassessing how you show up in your friendship, like in your friend groups. Because with the Queen of Wands reversed and the leadership energy, I feel as if there's a lack of confidence here, and this is what's being healed. You are stepping into your full power. And this is kind of what you're working through, right? Because we have 2 cards about endings right here. And with the 10 of Swords reversed, this is saying that especially socially and like when it comes to being in this leadership position, the worst is over. Anything that you've gone through, so if you've really struggled socially, if you've had faced a lot of rejection, if you've really struggled to find your place, if you've kind of floated from friend group to friend group, you've never really been able to kind of put down roots, or you've kind of always I'm feeling like hung back, held yourself back. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm hunching my shoulders over, very introverty of me right now. So kind of held yourself back, hung back. This is what's changing. And so what they keep showing me is Sun in the 11th house. And sometimes the planets that we have in the 11th house can kind of indicate the positions that we take in our communities, our friend groups, our soul tribe. And Sun in the 11th house can indicate somebody who takes up a position of leadership in your friend group, in your spiritual community. And it's also in the community you do spiritual work with, right? Because the 3rd house can kind of talk a little bit about community as well, but this is very much in your immediate surroundings. And your 11th house is more the people that you do spiritual work with, that you serve the collective with, and the people who are going to lift you up to your highest iteration, the people who are going to help make your most deeply spiritual dreams and desires a reality. And so this can kind of talk about, like, I feel like you've struggled to see yourself, like, to take up a position of power. You may have struggled to manifest the type of community that you'd like to be a part of. And I feel like with let go of control issues, I feel like I'm kind of getting this energy from this group that, excuse me, either you might be very prone to holding on to friendships or holding on to like maintaining things the way they are because there's this fear of a painful ending, or you may be prone to leaving something too early. It's like too soon or too late is kind of the energy I'm getting. And a lot of this stems from this need to heal your own sense of empowerment, because the Queen of Wands, she's dope, honestly. Like, she's so sparkly in her energy. She's a wonderful manifester. She is an amazing entrepreneur, and she's a great networker, and that's why those two go hand in hand. She is also is very attractive in the sense that she can attract a lot to her, and this is because she has that kind of charismatic, that's the word. I was like, if I keep talking, it will eventually find its way out of my mouth. Charismatic energy, and that's why she just draws people into her, right? Like, people want to be around her, people want to engage with her, and she's able to really create a lot, right? She's able to, like, really rally. She's able to kind of, like, oh gosh, what's the word I'm thinking of, you guys? I don't know. We're gonna go past it for now because I could spend all day doing this. But she's able to really, like, I don't want to say like marshal her resources, but kind of like that. She's, like, again, really able to draw her community toward her. And the King and Queen of Wands are very much like community leader energies. In my opinion, the King and Queen of Wands and the King and Queen of Pentacles are the two kind of like power couple leadership energies, right? Especially the King and Queen of Wands in a very, like, energetic, spiritual way. They're incredibly charismatic. They're very gregarious. People they're the life of the party. People want to be around them. And so I feel like if you pick this group, you may have been kind of struggling to be in this Queen of Wands energy and to believe that you have that power, right? And with the World here, I feel like what's happening here, and this might be why you're kind of not quite as close to this breakthrough or this turning point. I feel like what's happening with the World here is that you're healing these things about yourself, right? You have this power in healing. You're healing your personal empowerment. You're kind of with the introspection energy here. Because also too, this is 15, and this always makes me think of the Devil card in the tarot. You're healing this, like, these fears. You're healing this self-doubt. Because I feel like with the Ten of Swords here, especially in social settings, you've really been through a lot. So you might suffer from social anxiety. You may have, with the World, you may have, like, moved around a lot, and it may have been hard to kind of, like, put down roots. I'm really focusing in on control here as well. So somebody, maybe you had, like, really, controlling parents that kind of, like, controlled how, the types of people you were able to hang out with or how much social time you had, right? But there's something here where there's this, like, almost like social failure to launch a little bit. And it's what Spirit really wants you to know is that this has been part of your journey, and it's not like you did anything wrong, because I feel like this group really, really struggles with seeing themselves in their Queen of Wands energy. But the thing is, other people see you like this, right? Other people are drawn to you, and I feel like if you pick this group, you kind of have a hard time believing it. It's like, oh, they're just being nice, oh, they just, they just want XYZ from me, or like, oh, it always starts out well, but let's see what actually happens. I feel like this group, you try to control things by, like, not making assumptions, but it's like you try to control things by sort of, it says, I understand a friend is in my life for a reason. It's like everything has a reason. It's not just like that people want to be around you or that people like you. That's like, you know what I mean? I hope I'm describing that well enough. And this is because, again, there's something where you've internalized this, and this is what's being healed, is you're seeing that you have something of value to offer. People really do enjoy your energy. You have power. And everything that you have been through has only served to make you more powerful. And side note, I want to mention, we have Judgment, and then it goes to the World, which is the next card. And the World is card 21, which reduces to a 3. So that shit is awesome. Sorry, I'm just moving in my seat a little bit. Oh, God, that's awesome. My bones just cracked so hard. I don't know if you guys can hear that, because I am 30 and I am feeling it. So, yeah, here we are. But yeah, like, this is, and I'm like, as soon as I went to go start, like, channeling and getting in touch with the information here, it just started, like, pouring out. And so I feel like you have a lot to say. You have a lot to offer. And with this introspection, this could be, like, something you've been ruminating on lately. But you have so much to bring to the table. And what you've just been lacking is this confidence, this belief in yourself. But with the World here, I really feel like this is what you're healing. I'm super drawn into the little black cat here. And so black cats for me are always about like your intuition and your magic. But some of you may also have a black cat, may work with black cats. This always makes me think of it because I used to have a black cat familiar. She unfortunately passed away earlier this year. So maybe some of you have a little black cat familiar. But this is just saying like you have that magic, you have that intuition. And I feel like too with this integration, because I'm looking at these two together, you have a lot of soul wisdom, and this is why you're being put in this position of leadership. And I want to mention, we have the colors here of pink and red. And so red to me is not only a leadership color, it's the color of destiny, but it's also the root chakra. And so this is kind of about like feeling grounded and secure. And pink is the color of the heart chakra, right? So this is like you are leading from a place of love in general, but of loving what you do. And you're gaining confidence in that. You're gaining security in your place in the universe and your place in this life journey and what people are asking, you know, like what spirit is asking of you. So this kind of, and you know, with the 9 of Cups coming out while I was shuffling as well, this is getting you closer to like something that you've really wanted for yourself, right? So this could be like cultivating, you know, soul tribe, cultivating a really good friend group. This could be, you know, especially with the Queen of Wands and all the energy of like 3 here and Archangel Gabriel, this could be a creative project that you've really been wanting to do. Because I feel like for this group, this is all about the other people coming into your life. So if you've been kind of on your own for a while, or you tend to work alone, that's changing, by the way. And this might be kind of with let go of control issues, this might be kind of hard for you sometimes. Even if this is what you want, you might struggle letting this happen or letting people in. You might struggle like working with others, and not like, you know, my way or the highway, but you might struggle kind of like, because I feel like you've had to carry this a lot yourself, and you might struggle sort of delegating to others or struggle being in this leadership position. And what I'm kind of getting from this group, if I had to kind of sum it all up, is you're kind of coming into this energy, you're really graduating into your power, and don't hold back, right? With introspection, you see a lot, you sense a lot, you pick up on a lot, and what you have to say is powerful and meaningful. So this is the energy of like, don't hold back your power, don't hold back your authentic self-expression, don't hold back your magic, because this is what you're here for. This is what you came here to do, and this is what's going to lead people. What I'm hearing, hang on, I'm trying to channel for you. This is what's going to help lead people into their best selves. So don't hold back, because you're doing Spirit's work, and it's going to lead you to a lot of fulfillment in the process. So that's just about everything I have for group 1. I hope this has been helpful. This sounds awesome. I hope you guys rock the shit out of this. It's going to be a great time, and I have full faith and confidence in you. And with that, I'm going to move on to group 2. Hello and welcome, all my vibrant souls who were attracted to group 2 with this version of the Judgment card. I love this deck. So this deck to me is You guys see that? Yeah. This deck to me is always about creative energy, manifestation, and personal empowerment. And little story time. Part of the reason why is, for myself personally, I love to cook, and cooking for me has always been associated with independence. I remember the first thing I learned how to make, I was like 7 or 8, and I learned how to make boxed mac and cheese, and it blew my freaking mind as a kid, where I'm like, oh my God, I love this thing, and I no longer have to wait for an adult to make it for me. This shit is awesome. I didn't curse back then, but I've made up for it now. Don't you worry. I got a late start, but boy, I've really made up the time. Anyway, just taking me and my pirate mouth out of here. Excuse my cough. Yeah, and that feeling has never left me, and I love that. And so whenever, this deck is all about food. And whenever I use this deck, it makes me think of the things you can make and the ways you can empower yourself. And fun fact, actually, in the traditional tarot, there are only 2 cards that have the infinity symbol on it. It's the Strength card and the Magician card. But in this deck, all of them have it. Every single card has it tucked somewhere away on the card. And I think it's really cool. The infinity symbol for me is highly associated with source energy, manifestation, all that good stuff. Excuse me, I'm sorry. My allergies are wicked bad. So yeah, and being drawn into this one as well. So like, in case you couldn't tell, this is tofu. So whenever I kind of think of this, I feel like this is something where whatever it is you're asking about, this is something that has a lot of endless possibilities, right? You can do so much stuff with tofu, it's insane. And it really takes on, whatever flavor consistency that you want depending on how you prepare it, right? And I like that they still have the little water in here too. So water in the tarot is always representative of your emotions and your intuition. So this to me is like a blank slate, and it's kind of like buoyed or like insulated by your love for this thing. So this is like endless creative potential. This feels like this is really open energy, and I really, really like it. And so this kind of feels like whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, this is open-ended to you. So I'm going to start by rolling my lovely little D10 to kind of figure out how close you are to this, turning point, breakthrough, etc. If you are curious about how to use D&D dice sets for divinatory purposes, I do have a video on that. I will put the link in the description box below. I'm probably going to do an updated version not too long from now, but it's a good starting point. I'm not going to lie, when I first filmed it, I was having a bad hair day. Kind of want to fix that, and I want to update some of the information in there, but this is a good starting point. Gosh, there's something else I was going to say before we got started. You know what? It will come out when it's ready. Yeah, so let's see what you guys get. Actually, I'm going to roll right-handed because that's better for me. Nice. Okay, so you got 70%. All right, so this means this big breakthrough, this turning point, and for you guys, I feel like this is going to be an idea where you're like, yes, okay, divine inspiration. And again, this doesn't have to be a creative project. This could be something that this could be, a relationship where you're trying to figure out how do we make this work, right? This could be, taking getting to the next level in your career, getting that promotion you really want and trying to figure out what steps can I take to set myself as, apart. But this feels like this is going to be the aha moment, right? This is going to be and with the Great Wall in the background, I feel like this makes sense that you got 70% because it feels like this is a journey you've been on for a while. And I'll say the same thing I said for group 1, which is even though you got 70%, this doesn't necessarily indicate the timing, whenever, so if you're 70% of the way there to this, this manifestation, this big turning point, this, divine inspiration, it's not necessarily, what's the word I'm thinking of? like, it's not necessarily related to the amount of time you've already sunk into it. So let's say if you're 70% of the way there and you've been working on this for 7 months, that doesn't mean necessarily in 3 months that's going to be the time it happens, right? Spirit's timing is very different than our own. But this is saying the energy is backing you up. The energy is like 70% kind of, there. You're pretty close to what it is that you desire. So you may have this feeling of like the energy and the momentum building. You might be seeing the signs, especially with that water imagery. You might be kind of like getting the intuitive hints. And again, with all the little like the way the wall is designed, this feels like you come on, Sinessa, words. Like you've kind of had your journey, and then there's been like these big turning points, right? There's been these big like aha moments, or things have lined up, these serendipitous opportunities. So loving this as a start. I've already pre-shuffled all your cards because even though my hand is healing and it's not as broken as it was, I still want to give it a break. No pun intended. So let's see what you guys get. You have synergy. I friggin' love this. This is card 41 that reduces to a 5 in case that's important for you. But it says, the frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. Excuse me. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. I love it. Okay. Oof, I'm leaning forward because I'm old. I'm sorry. You guys see that? Yeah, all right. Nice. This is perfect. I'm going to pull the rest in a minute because I like to have them all out so I can kind of read them as one collective energy. But this is great. This is exactly what we're talking about. Looking for that unique idea. If you've been looking to kind of collaborate with somebody, or there's somebody else involved in this, this is really talking about you guys are getting on the same page, especially with the 5 energy after a period of, I feel like shifts and challenges, but I don't feel like, 5s are usually known for being kind of challenging energy, but I don't feel like it's been bad. It's just kind of been a lot of change is sort of what I'm feeling. Is it like a lot of like twists and turns? And I feel like you guys are coming into alignment, but this is also within yourself, right? This is like these new ideas, because the number 5 to me also makes me think of the Magician card. He's got all 4 of the elements in front of him, and he's that 5th element of spirit, right? He's that conduit for spirit, and that's why he can manifest like whatever the hell he wants. And this kind of has that same energy to me. It's like all the pieces are coming together for you. This is exciting. I'm getting hyped, you guys. Like, whew, it's good. So yeah, let's see what else you get, because I'm really curious. So you have flux, unanimity. Oh, I love that word. Unanimity and harmony. You guys see it? It says, he who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. Marcus Aurelius. I love it. Okay, let's see, because I got to get another little card up here. So I want to make sure there's room. Is there room? Yeah. Okay. And then let's see. You have past life relationship. You've known each other before. See? Okay, so for a lot of you, I do feel like this involves another person. Let's see. Do I want to... Hang on, I'm trying to channel for you. Okay, so for some of you, if this is a relationship, and I have more cards, and I'll pull them momentarily. If this is a relationship, you may have this might be like an opposites attract kind of a thing. This could be where this got off to a rocky start, and the reason why is because you had past life issues you had to resolve first. But I feel like you're very, very close to a turning point in this situation, and to reaching a lot more, unanimity and harmony. You're going to be on the same page. You're going to be working together, and I feel like whatever was kind of out of balance is going to have greater chemistry. Like there's going to be a lot more, because it's not just harmony, it's that you guys are going to be coming together to be able to create a lot of things together is sort of what I'm feeling. And again, with this like tofu energy, I don't ever really talk about big tofu energy, but I'm liking it right now. But with this tofu energy, there's a lot of possibilities, right? And I can see with all the mountains in the background too, you've had to overcome a lot. This has already been a very, like, this has been a long journey, even if it hasn't been that much time. And this is, again, because you're finishing up past life cycles and issues. I'm almost feeling like one or both of you could have the other person's sun sign in your 12th house. Excuse me. Or you could have the sun or Venus in the 12th house, or your person could have that, or the other person involved. Because this doesn't just have to be romantic, right? If you've been looking to collaborate with somebody, you've been looking to create something together, but you haven't really been able to get on the same page. This is really saying wherever there's been a lack of harmony in your life, wherever there's been this like this struggle, this discord, that is disappearing. This is falling away, and you are getting very, very close to this like aha moment breakthrough that you're looking for. So let's see what else you get. You have sun, clarity, boom. Boom, bitches, we got it. This is card 18, in case that's important for you, so that would reduce to a 9. And I mentioned this with group 1, but I'm going to mention it here as well. When I was shuffling all the decks, at one point or another through all 3 decks, either when I cut the deck or because it came flying out, the 9 of Wands showed up. So there's this collective energy where it's like moving toward this major breaking point, like not breaking point, breakthrough or turning point. Although breaking point, so maybe whatever this is, you were ready to call it quits and throw in the towel, and you're just like, I can't do this shit anymore. Because it's like, holy God, this is a lot. But there's this collective energy where it's like, okay, don't give up before the miracle. You're right there. It's about to happen. And it's interesting too, because in the traditional 9 of Wands, there's a lot of mountains, and they're all the color green, and the mountains are different colors in the different cards in the tarot. So again, mountains always represent obstacles. Color green is associated with the heart chakra, a lot of emotional obstacles. I feel like if you pick this pile, this is largely talking about an important relationship in your life. Doesn't have to be, but this is kind of the energy. And so there's finally clarity coming in. And with this image, I feel like there's finally alignment, and we have citrine pictured here. So there's a lot of abundance, a lot of creativity, a lot of manifestation power here. So let's see what else you got, because now I'm curious. I'm very nosy. So we have doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. I get that card more than I want to, and it irritates me every time in a beautiful way, because I need to hear it spiritually. We have adventure, and we have 55, master number, and the number 5 is showing up again. And in this deck, as you can see, there's some cards where the Merkaba is the same color as the background, and some cards where it's different. So when it's the same, I take this to mean that your internal frequency is in resonant harmony with your external reality, meaning that your internal frequency is manifesting a reality that's in alignment. So this is coming into alignment. Like I said, for some of you, there is this like venture that you want to take, or you've been kind of on this adventure for a while, you're gearing up for it, and you're about to kind of like, I'm hearing the words take off. So maybe some of you are literally flying somewhere, but it's like this energy of like, especially with I release the need to know all the answers. I feel like you've been on this journey where you've been having to trust spirit, and this is where this clarity is now coming in for you. Because you've allowed spirit to kind of like align shit for you. That's very spiritual of me. Yeah, just like align some shit. But you've allowed spirit to kind of like put shit together for you and work with, this feels like this is really like a relationship pile. Work with this other person and allow this other person and you to work out past life issues that you've had together. That needed to be resolved. Because I'm also really looking at the structure behind them, and it looks like a doorway, like a portal. Oh God, there we go. Sorry, my bones are crackly. Excuse me. This feels like something where you guys really had to work through this before you could move forward, right? And there's so much blue here and here, right? Where it's like there's so much clarity. There's a lot of throat chakra energy. Maybe there's something, excuse me, that really needed to be said. There's a truth that needed to be understood. And you guys are like you're right there, even though it's like 70% of the way there. This kind of feels like right at the precipice, which I love that word, precipice. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that. But yeah, this is like this feels like you've had to really release the need to control the situation to a certain extent. And in doing so, it allowed everything to come into right alignment for you. And because of that, you're now able to kind of get ready to take this adventure, right? And there's, again, this energy of like this throat chakra energy where it's like, I'm connected to my truth. I have clarity with my truth. I am connected to spirit. I'm connected to the universal truth, like to the truth of the universe. And in that energy, I know that everything's going to be okay. Especially if there's a lot of like fearful energy. There are a lot of like, they're showing me somebody like learning how to drive, and like, you know, that like stereotype of like new drivers just like hitting the brakes every 2 seconds. It's like this stop start energy. And it's like kind of almost giving you a little bit of whiplash here. So in this relationship, this feels like there are a lot of stops and starts. There may have been a lot of fights, miscommunications, especially miscommunications. You're just not on the same page, like misunderstanding each other. And again, working out past life shit, because you guys had some stuff to work out. This has been going on for a while, like many lifetimes, or very deeply entrenched in a few major lifetimes. I feel like you're wrapping up a big cycle together, and this is going to allow for a breakthrough. Now, this is not love related, and I will pull your tarot in a minute. Well, I already have it, but I'll lay it out for you in a sec. If this is not love related, excuse my burp, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I feel like there were karmic issues within yourself that you were working out from, that were created from a relationship in another life, that really inhibited, like there's a fearful energy here, right? It's like, I need to be sure, I need to have absolute certainty before I take this leap of faith, is kind of the energy. And I feel like this came from past life issues with another person, and you're finally kind of in this harmony with spirit, with the universe. And it's like, you know what? I know spirit's got me. I wouldn't be led to this if it weren't for me. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to take the leap. Very Fool energy. And because of that, everything's able to come into right alignment for you, and you're able to kind of take this journey. You're able to kind of take this leap of faith, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be different than what you had initially expected, but it's going to be even better. And I feel like it's not going to take you long to figure that out. Like, it's not going to be one of those things where, you know, years later you look back and you're like, yeah, okay, that really was the best thing. It's going to be like, oh, I didn't expect this, but you know what? This is better, and I see why. It's going to be pretty quick turnaround. And it's because you're in this, like, very free-flowing, like, lots of possibilities, this very creative energy. You're very much in alignment intuitively with spirit. So, let's see what you got. You have the Page of Wands reversed. Oh, there we go. Oh, the Empress. Hot. Oh, this makes me want a burrito so bad, you guys. Oh my god, I'm hungry. Okay, and the Eight of Wands. Hell yeah. And look at mountains right there. Lots of mountains. All right. Oh no. The Eight of Wands. She's down. Ah. Okay. This is not my strong suit. Aesthetic is not what I'm good at. Can you guys see? Yeah. Okay. So this is exactly what we're talking about. Page of Wands is enthusiastic for the new journey. Page of Wands is like, let's do it. Let's go right now. Let's do it. But it's reversed. And so this is kind of this feeling of, like, especially with this moon energy, there's a lot of fear here. There's a lot of distortion. And I feel like this is what held you back. And I feel like, again, if this is a relationship, it's because there were self-worth issues. Either way, there may have been, it's not even self-worth, it's self-belief, right? So I'm going to read this two ways. If this is not love related, because that's what's coming through first, there was this doubt in yourself, and in what you could manifest with that little infinity symbol. And I feel like this is what, this like fear, this timidity, that's the perfect word. This kind of like spiritual timidity kept you where you were. But then there was, with clarity, there was this like aha moment, and you've been working toward that, you've been moving toward that. And now that you're coming in alignment with your Empress energy, regardless of gender identity or expression, The Empress, she's super duper abundant. She can manifest anything. She is divine feminine energy through self-mastery because she's all 4 queens of the tarot in one. She's got her shit on lock. And in the traditional card, she's depicted as pregnant. So this is you about to birth a new reality, about to, go on a new adventure. For some of you, it literally could be talking about wanting to have a child, but just in general, this is what, excuse me, the Empress is talking about. And now that you're like coming into alignment with this energy, boom, 8 of Wands, right? And the 8 of Wands is travel. So you could be talking about like travel as well. Fast forward movement. This is quick communication. This is like if you're doing a creative project, especially with these 2 cards, this is like bing, bang, boom. Everything happens. If you're looking for creative collaborators, everybody wants to work with you. Everybody's all up in your shit. They're like, hey, what's up? Hi. And also too, if you're looking for a relationship, I feel like you've really been working on yourself. And because you've kind of like come into this confidence with yourself and this alignment with spirit, and especially trusting in divine timing, like everybody's gonna be all up in your shit. They're gonna like be in love with you. And especially because the Empress can like, sorry if you could hear my bones crack, the Empress can kind of manifest and attract anything she wants to her. And again, with the 8 of Wands, things are going to move very, very quickly, and things are going to just like take off for you. If this is a relationship where you guys have kind of been out of balance, there is an element of divine timing here with the clock. And with the little donkey, somebody's being an ass. No, but somebody's being very stubborn. Or the situation had very stubborn, stuck energy. And once again, this is like, excuse me, this is past life shit that you guys had to work out. There's a lot of this energy of like, there was this push-pull. And I feel like part of the resolution of this really came with coming into alignment with your greatest self, with your self-worth, as well as coming into alignment with spirit and knowing that spirit's got you and letting things flow. And as a result, things are moving forward very, very quickly. And like, I do have to say, this energy to me is always very passionate and kind of sexual. And these, like the Empress, everybody wants to be with her. And the 8 of Wands is really sexual energy. So if you've been kind of like fighting with your person, you've been sort of, like, I don't know if this is going to make it, things are taking a very fortuitous turn. And just so you know, your person might be like all up in you shit. So if you've kind of been looking to like have a fresh start with them, you're going to be able to manifest that, and it's going to move forward really beautifully and very, very quickly. So yeah, this is kind of what I'm seeing for group 2. I hope this has been helpful. This looks beautiful. I'm wishing you guys the best and the most beautiful things that life has to offer. Take care, love bugs, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hello and welcome to all of my vibrant souls who were attracted to group 3 with this version of the Judgment card from the Cat-Eye Tarot. Okay, so first thing I want to make mention of, so in the traditional Judgment card, which looks like this, we have lots of people down here. In the version the group 2 chose, there aren't any people specifically, but I think it's really fascinating that in this version there are 2 of the cats. So this may involve you and a cycle with another person. Does not have to be. This could also kind of involve finding balance within your own energies, whether that's light and shadow, masculine, feminine, other combinations that I can't think of right now, So the other 2 groups, I gotta say, I was really like upbeat, and this one I'm kind of a little more mellow. This feels more serious. And when I was shuffling for this group, what I was kind of picking up on is that if you were drawn to this version of the Judgment card, this has to do with a cycle that's a really big cycle in your life. And this feels like a combination of something that's emotional and spiritual. And maybe that's why there's the 2 cats depicted here, is that this talks about a very, very large cycle with somebody who's really important to you and really important to your spiritual development in this lifetime. or, you know, this could also be talking about, it doesn't have to be a person that's directly involved in your life, but this could be talking about a cycle that you've been going through. And I feel like this is something that's been there for a while, right? Because like they're standing on the edge of like a stone building, right? And it's very ornate. And this feels like something where this was decided a long time ago. This cycle was kind of set in place before you even incarnated. And I'm going to be real, this feels like this has had a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of emotion here. This feels like there's a lot of emotional investment, but there's also been a lot of challenges, a lot of pain, a lot of heartache. And you know, the question we're trying to answer today is, how close are you to like a turning point or a breakthrough? Excuse me. And so far, each of the groups have kind of, that breakthrough, that turning point has felt distinctly different. And I'm going to be real with you guys. What I'm kind of picking up on here is that I feel like yours is a resolution or an ending. And it doesn't have to mean that, like, you know, the situation with this person ends, but whatever this huge soul cycle is, whatever this lesson is, this is finally drawing to a close. And like I said, you know, when we complete our soul contracts with people, when we complete our lessons, it doesn't mean they have to leave our lives, but it means that the context of the relationship changes dramatically. And I think this is why a lot of people experience that, where it's like you wrap up a soul contract and then the energy is not the same, right? And that doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it's like that pull you feel toward that person, that you know, that kind of almost magnetic energy toward a situation, toward a particular relationship, a job, whatever it is. Again, I'm feeling very strongly for this group. This has to do with another person. Not exclusively romantic, but just like a very important person to you. This feels like this soul contract is getting resolved because you guys have both reaped the full benefits of this situation. So once again, this isn't saying that you guys don't necessarily be in each other's lives, but it's going to be different after this. And I want to also kind of make note, I don't know if you can see, this cat, the cats are separated, right? It's hard for them to get to each other. So you might be in separation with this person. This cat is looking up and this cat is looking away. And what I'm kind of getting from that is that one of you is looking to understand the spiritual context. One of you is really kind of looking upward to spirit for guidance on the situation. And one of you has kind of, you know, is looking away. So maybe one of you is like avoiding talking to, like maybe your person's like trying to avoid talking to you. I feel like one of the people in the situation, I feel like this is most likely your person, because I feel like this is you, my sweet, lovely viewer. I feel like your person is trying to kind of run away from this situation. Your person's trying to kind of outrun spirit on this one, and that's not really that possible. Hang on, I'm trying to see if I can fix it so you guys don't have to glare. I use this deck enough that the cards are a little bit bent. Oops. So it's a little tough, but regardless. This feels like, your person may have more work to do on this situation, or your person, you and your person might be in separation. Your person might not be responding to you or may have initiated no contact. And if this is not about a relationship, I feel like this is something where you're torn within yourself on this situation. Part of you is kind of like trying to see the spiritual lessons and really trying to seek out that spiritual understanding, and the other part of you is kind of tired. The other part of you is kind of done with it. So I'm going to roll this lovely D10 to kind of figure out how close you are to this sort of turning point. And yeah, if you're interested, by the way, in learning more about using D&D dice for divinatory purposes, I do have a video about that. The link is going to be in the description box below. I will probably be updating it fairly soon, but this is a good kind of starting point to get you going. So I'm going to roll with my right hand because that's my dominant hand for the most part. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to be real here. So normally, so you got 10, right? Normally this would indicate that you're kind of only like 10% of the way there. In your case, I am really kind of, because I was being shown 90 before, I really feel like you're kind of only 10% away. So I know this is not how I normally use those to read this, but this is kind of what I'm picking up on, is that you're very, very close to this resolution. And I'll tell you guys what I told the other two groups, which is, it's not equivalent necessarily to the amount of time you've spent on this. So like, let's say this is a cycle that you've been in for 9 years so far, right? Having 10% left doesn't mean that you have another year to go, right? It moves differently with spiritual timing. So it's not like it's equivalent timing. And I know as human beings, time is a function of our human existence, not our spiritual existence. And so as human beings, the human parts of us want to know, and we want to have time. We want to have like a timing, something to hold on to like that, something tangible. But it kind of just doesn't really fully work like that. So I am sorry. I'm one of those people too. You're definitely not alone if that makes you feel better. But yeah, let's kind of see what you have. I already pre-shuffled your cards because my hand is healing. It's doing better. It's not as broken as it was, but I'd like to still give it a break. No pun intended. So let's see what you got. You have, to start us off. Oh, yeah, okay. Change. This is card 12 that reduces to a 3, in case that's important for you. And this one says, the frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's bonkers, because I haven't looked at these cards. So, yeah, and this is card 12, so this always makes me think of the Hanged Man. And this can talk about, well, it's really weird as I said that, the camera was at 9 minutes. We were just talking about like, you're at kind of like the 9 energy where you're wrapping up. This is very much Hanged Man energy. So I feel like, again, you could be in no contact with this person, and that's for a very spiritual reason, a very spiritual purpose. But this to me is, the Hanged Man also represents Pisces energy. It's the last sign of the zodiac. This is wrapping up a cycle. And I feel like this is finally getting clarity on something where it's not even clarity like an epiphany aha moment. What I'm feeling is that there's going to be this soul knowing that comes in for you. Because if you can see on the shape here, we have a circle and then there's a square around it, right? So this to me is kind of talking about cycles that you've been stuck in, because squares are very, rigid, sometimes frustrated energy. There's a lot of stability in them, but there's a lot of stagnation as well if you're not careful. And so I feel like you've been kind of going around and around and around. And I don't know if you can see in the card, but the circle is just barely kind of like expanding out past the square. So I feel like you're kind of expanding your consciousness past this. And I think that's going to manifest in terms of like I said, I don't think it'll be a big epiphany. I think it will kind of just be like a soul knowing. It's going to be like, okay, I can let this go. And it's going to be very peaceful. And excuse me. It's also, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Death card comes out in your tarot, because it also makes me think of, in the major arcana, we have Hanged Man, and it's always followed by the Death card, right? So in the Hanged Man, he's hung upside down so he can gain a new perspective. He can have this enlightenment process. And then when the Hanged Man comes out reversed, depending on what else it comes out with, this kind of speaks to getting unstuck. And the only way he gets unstuck is that he makes a kind of like, I guess I'll say sacrifice. I don't like saying it like that because I don't think it feels like a sacrifice necessarily, right? The Hanged Man, he makes a sacrifice, but he makes a change. And I think that's more important, right? Because it's always followed by the Death card. And the Death card is a very gradual change. It's very organic. It's not like the Tower where it comes in and knocks you on your ass and then laughs at you and leaves, right? Calls you a nerd, says they're gonna bang your mom. I don't know. Whatever else the Tower card has done in your life. Sorry, I'm so immature sometimes. But it's a living. But, it's not like that really, where it comes in and just like shakes everything up and kind of throws you for a loop. The Death card is, like I said, very organic. You see whenever I see the death card, this is like the writings on the wall. And when you're in this hangman energy, this is kind of why you're hung upside down, is so you can see it. So you can see that from a new perspective, and you can accept that at a soul level, and it's wrapping up big time cycles. And I mentioned this too in the other two groups. When I was shuffling all the decks, at some point in the shuffling process, whether this card flew out or fell out, or I cut the deck and it was in the middle, or it was on the bottom of the deck, all three groups, the Nine of Wands showed up. And this is that wounded warrior energy. This is where you've been through a lot, and you're kind of ready to be done, right? You're almost there. Also, while I was looking at the camera just now, it was 12:36. I don't know why, but that number feels significant. So you might want to do some research into that angel number and see if that kind of applies here. But yeah, whatever this is, I feel like you're very, very close to the wrap up here. So let's see what other cards you have. You have, excuse me, you have Morning Glory. This is affection and determination. It says, the morning glory, which blooms for a day, differs not at heart from the giant pine that lives for 1,000 years. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to reach. My bones are so crackly and old. And then you also have, you have flirt. Okay, extend your lighthearted energy to others. Okay. Oh, sorry if I bumped the camera, you guys. I'm doing my best. So I want to pull the rest of your cards in a little bit. But first of all, with affection and determination, and with it being the morning glory, like it says, morning glories bloom for a day. And, it's talking about how it doesn't really differ in its energy from a pine that, lives for 1,000 years. And this to me kind of speaks to the nature of this situation, that it extends past this lifetime. I feel like with flirt, this is somebody that you have a lot of fun with. This is somebody who you can really, really enjoy. There's a little bit of a sweetness here. There's affection here. But something happened, and we're going to, like I said, look at the rest of your cards and kind of get a better idea. And I think this cycle is just this cycle is finally ready to be done. So I'm like, what happened, you guys? I also want to say, though, but with Morning Glory and Flirt coming out, I do feel like there is this much more lighthearted energy coming in as a result of letting this go, as a result of the change, because it has very 10 of Wands kind of energy to me. So let's actually look at the rest of your cards, because now I'm spiritually nosy. I'm curious here. We have indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. We have, spiritual career. This is 78. That reduces to a 15, which reduces to a 6, in case that's important for you. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to make space. We have, perseverance. This is that 9 of Wands energy. Oh, and it's turquoise, which is the birthstone for December. So this might be a very, very important month for you. This is also card 12. So again, Hanged Man energy. And then your tarot cards are the 7 of Pentacles. Oh, here we go. The 8 of Swords reversed. I am not surprised to see that here. And the King of Pentacles. Okay. So for some of you, this can involve an earth sign. We have a lot of earth energy here. This would be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. That could be you. Excuse me. Capricorn season, which we just started like 2 days ago. And granted, this is a timeless reading, but at the time I'm filming this, it could be a particularly significant period of time for you. I will say here too, there's a lot of energy here around career and finances. Sorry, I'm just shifting in my seat. Oh, that feels great. I am so old. Holy shit. Okay. Because we have spiritual career here, and we have earth energy. Excuse me, and we have 7 of Pentacles and King of Pentacles. So for some of you, this could really talk about feeling spiritually called to change your career, right? We have purple and pink here. And so this really talks about coming into alignment in the heart and soul, right? Feeling intuitively called, especially with this, I use my intuition in all aspects of my life, or of life, excuse me. Feeling intuitively called to a new path, something that makes you happier, something that you're very devoted to, something that it feels like a new day is dawning. And with the quote on the affection and determination card, if this is like a career path, this is something that is new to you in this life, but is very ancient to you at the same time. And this is something also too, with these, if this is talking about career, this is something where you're intuitively very drawn to it. You're like taking cues from spirit, but you might not be consciously aware of it yet. So you might find that you're really, really drawn to something else. Because look at this cat. Oh, I don't know if you can see. Oh, shit. Okay, I'll pick him up in a sec. This cat is like right at the doorway, but it's not looking outside. And outside it's winter, it's cold, right? And you know, wintertime always signifies a time of rest. Hang on, I'm just trying to fix these cards. Aesthetic is not my strong suit, guys. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Can't reach. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that'll do for now. But yeah, this cat's like right at the precipice, right at the doorway, and it's kind of looking back over its shoulder, right? And I know it's covered right now, but there's a little crescent moon here, kind of suggesting that, you know, there's a little bit of momentum forward on this, but now is kind of going to be the time to like push forward, right? So if this, I'll read for two things. I'm reading either career here or potentially like a relationship. And again, relationship just doesn't have to just be romantic. This could be, you know, with a coworker that you really, you know, vibe with. This could be with your boss. This could be the relationship you have with a company. This could be a family member. We'll kind of go through that momentarily. But with the Seven of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords, you've really put in some investment into this. I feel like this is one of those things, again, you're intuitively very drawn to. And I feel like the fear here is, how can I make this into a viable career? And I feel like that's what you've kind of been wrestling with, because again, the door is open, but it looks like it's winter outside. So it may be that you have to go through a period where it's very difficult, or it's like it's kind of Five of Pentacles energy, right? You're feeling like you're out in the cold, and this is the fear, right? But with this Eight of Swords reversed, this is kind of, I think, the epiphany that we're talking about, that intuitive knowing, right? Because I use my intuition in all aspects of life. This intuitive knowing is that this is your calling. And whenever spiritual career comes out, this is like, to me, this isn't saying that you necessarily have to be pursuing a spiritual career, but that this is your part of your life purpose, part of your soul purpose, right? This is something that you feel drawn to for a reason. And so if this is kind of talking about career, I feel like there is this fear, excuse me, of the unknown. Because look, there's this little gate there, and that's like the Eight of Swords, right? The gate that's kind of keeping them seemingly stuck. Cats could leap over that, no problem, right? But on the other side, it's darkness. And again, we have darkness on the other side of a doorway. So again, there's like, I don't know what's on the other side of this. I don't know what's going to happen. And what I feel like, you know, this turning point for you that you're very, very close to is that your determination and your love for this, your intuitive calling, that soul longing, is going to be enough to propel you forward. And with perseverance, it's going to be enough to, it's going to be enough to make you brave, right? Make you brave enough to go for it wherever it is that you're afraid. Because I feel like you've been flirting with this idea for a while. You've been kind of, again, moving toward it. And now is the time to kind of, pardon me, but like shit or get off the pot. And what Spirit really wants you to know about this is, you're going to have this intuitive knowing. It's going to feel peaceful, and it's going to, you know, with judgment can also talk about our spiritual calling, right? It's going to feel like I have to go this way. And with the King of Pentacles, you're going to be just fine, right? You're following your soul plan, and when you do that, it's you know, the King of Pentacles is very methodical, it's slow and steady wins the race, but he's very grounded, and he's very well supported materially because of the actions that he's taken and the choices he makes, right? So what Spirit wants you to know is that if this is talking about a spiritual career, or, moving in a new direction with your career, you're going to be supported. You're going to be, if you follow your intuition, you follow that soul calling, you're going to be okay. And it's going to be fine. And with the 8 of Swords reversed, I feel like this is the knowing that you're coming into. Now, for those of you, excuse me, gosh, I am so sorry. For those of you where this is a relationship, again, I feel like you have a lot of fun with this person. You have a lot of affection for this person. This has kind of, whenever I get morning glory, for me, this always kind of makes me think of 6 of Cups, right? Because it's that affection, that sweetness, but it also has that past life kind of energy where you really, or that deep soul bond kind of energy. I feel like you've been moving toward this change with this person for a long time, and with perseverance here. This has not been an easy journey. It's like you've been moving toward the door for a while, and I think there's this fear of going into the darkness. There's this fear of heading into the winter, and of feeling unsupported, feeling alone, right? And what this turning point is, this breaking point, I keep saying that, the breaking point, shoot, this breakthrough, this turning point, but it might be a breaking point, is that this soul contract is getting resolved, or has already been recently resolved, and now you guys are kind of not in that same alignment anymore, and intuitively you know it's time to go. You know it's time for a change, and I feel like perseverance speaks to both, you trying to make this work, but also the strength that it takes to move on to what it is that you truly desire and deserve. Because I feel like no matter how this relationship manifests right now, no matter how it shows up, because like these cats are the same, right? And in this deck, sometimes they're different, but these cats are the same, meaning that you guys are of similar ilk. No matter what type of relationship this is, you guys are kind of cut from the same cloth, or, oh gosh, there's this quote, and I can't remember who says it, so I'm sorry, but it's, whatever souls are made of, his and mine are the same. It's that kind of energy. And this is part of your soul family, but it's this, I don't even know if this is part of your soul family. I think this is part of your soul family. This is somebody that you do really important spiritual growth with, though. And I feel like you guys have had you've had this agreement many, many lifetimes to work through this really big stuff. I'm almost picking up family. Excuse me. Especially with the King of Pentacles, this could be talking about a father. And this is a relationship. This could be talking about somebody who is very grounded, very mature, or somebody who is very stable in some ways. You guys might be fighting about career choices, because this person could be very traditional and practical and pragmatic, and you might feel this intuitive calling to do something else. And I feel like what I'm kind of hearing here is that nobody did anything wrong. You're not wrong for wanting what you want. This person isn't wrong for wanting to do things the way they want to do things. But it's the reason why it's not working anymore is because you guys aren't going in the same direction anymore. You guys aren't the soul contract is resolved. And so I do get the feeling for most of you, this is going to kind of naturally sort of fall away. And it's okay to have that happen. Because you guys have really resolved the soul contract here. So, if I had to sum it all up, what is this turning point? You're real close to it. And this turning point is really this deep understanding, this deep knowing of what you need to do. And we have purple and red here. I want to mention this is like third eye and root chakra energy. So again, being intuitively led to something that has a lot of security, right? That grounds you. That's very much a part of your destiny. And I feel like you're going to kind of come into alignment with and find peace in the knowing of what you need to do. And again, this feels very much like drifting away peacefully. This isn't going to be dramatic. This isn't going to be painful. This this is going to be a peaceful transition for you. And it's going to lead to a lot more fun, a lot more lighthearted energy, a lot more opportunities that are in alignment with you. So I think that's just about everything I have for you folks. I am sorry for the coughing, as you can hear my voice is going. I am wishing you guys the best, the brightest, and the most beautiful things that life has to offer. Take care, love bugs. Bye.